Babble Lab.
Oh, don't look. Okay.
I didn't see anything. I had the gorilla hilarious bloopers VHS.
Gorilla's Gone Wild.
Outtakes and bloopers, gorillas.
Narrated by Bob Saget.
Welcome to Babble Lab.
Are we recording?
I guess so.
Hello?
Oh, we're recording.
Welcome back
You guys are missing out.
to Babble Lab.
The other video is pretty fantastic.
What episode is this?
This is episode 8.
Episode 8.
Holy shit.
Wow. Welcome back to Babble Lab, episode 8. I'm
are.
your host, Cole, with the Jeffs and Jake. And we're here to do what we always do, which is babble.
And lab.
Just go on incoherently.
We babble about
we really
labs.
do. We honestly really do.
synthesize some black labs.
If somehow you're
Golden
listening to this
labs.
and you don't know us and you're actually getting enjoyment out of this, send us an email.
Yeah.
I want to know who you are.
Are you? What are you getting out of this?
Our email is hello@babblelabpodcast.com. We're also on all the social medias. And
But we also have a secret email if you have complaints.
if you have a complaint, send it to jake@babblelabpodcast.com.
I think, is that for all complaints or is that for Jake-related complaints?
I think we're just assuming
what's
that
the
all
difference?
complaints are Jake related.
I mean, yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Probably safe
All right, so
assumption.
today we're doing one of our 2 recurring topics or segments. We
Yep.
have 2 normal segments. We have Heard of It, and that is when we all agreed on a topic to discuss, and we discuss it. Usually get off track within the first 5 minutes, but
Easily.
I've never heard of that topic.
And then we also have Never Heard of It. I got the name right this episode.
Nice.
Never Heard of It. That is where I pick random Wikipedia articles, and I think they're interesting. I think they might want to talk about them. Any trade disputes that might have come up.
Oh, yeah, those are so interesting.
I feel like there was a really good one we talked about once.
And then we discuss
only we could
those.
remember it.
They try to guess what it is, and we discuss them.
Wait, Jake, what is your favorite one we've done so far?
My favorite trade dispute we've done so far?
No.
was
Never.
The
Favorite,
Brazil,
never heard of it.
South Africa frozen
chicken.
chicken trade dispute.
But what was your favorite topic in general?
Out of the never heard of it?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a tough call. I liked
The one we expounded on the most, I think, was Wet n Wild Orlando.
I liked
Well, that's
that
what
one. I liked
Jake
where
had
that
history with
led,
it.
but I think I liked Helen O'Loy the most.
Helen O'Loy was a sleeper.
Yeah, it was
When I
good.
picked Helen O'Loy, I thought it was going to be a quick one. Just
There were a
kinda
couple
like,
layers to that. The author was interesting.
You didn't know how
Yeah.
dark it could go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the author's name.
Did get really dark.
It
The author's
was
name was
Lester.
It was 14
Del
names.
Rey.
No, but it was 14 names.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had his real name, and then
Yeah.
he started lying about his name, and his first step was just to say
I am
Lester
of the
Del
king.
Rey.
Yeah.
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 That guy was interesting. All
is a
right,
great
let's bust
combo.
into our Heard of It topic.
Yeah, so
This one's ironic because a lot of us...
it's really like I'd never heard of it, but Cole and I are switching roles because we
Yeah.
agreed to all research this and talk about it, but apparently only I did.
Yeah.
I sort of read about it.
So,
I was like, I know about
I got a
this.
high level.
oh, cool.
Nobody expected me to do anything.
it's true.
Jake did exactly what we expected.
I was looking up videos of the homeless guys jerking off.
Yeah, Jake came prepared today, not with information on this topic, but with like a whole Rolodex
Of live leak videos.
of new chimp videos, which apparently a subset of chimp videos is homeless people jacking off. Same thing, right? It's part of it.
I think we should be treating apes
It's in the
kinda
same
like,
genre.
you know, kind of similarly.
Okay.
If they don't
Not to
accomplish
indulge
anything,
that
then
too
they
much.
go in cages.
They either have to fight lions or do tricks for our enjoyment. Right?
Fling poop at grandma.
Either way,
No middle
we're
ground.
getting some out of it, and they're finally giving back.
Hey, welcome to the Grandma Poop Fling League. That's where the chimps go.
All right,
That's what I aspire
Jeff,
to be.
get us started off here.
So the
Today's
topic
topic.
that we all researched in depth is genetic manipulation, and more specifically CRISPR.
Manipulation has a negative connotation. I'd say genetic engineering.
Sure. Well,
Modification.
I think it finally is engineering, because that's kind of something that separates CRISPR from, like, we've been fucking with genes for a long time.
Yeah.
But the problem was it was kind of this shotgun thing where we weren't that accurate with what we were doing. So we would get all these different samples of things, and one would work and 99 wouldn't. So we would throw away those 99 specimens like, ah, shit, we really fucked those things up. But this one worked out and it has some promise.
Oh,
And
yeah, they do that in school.
The reason why that's problematic is if we ever want to apply this science to human beings, you can't just throw away 99 out of 100 of them. Right, Jake? Don't give me the eyes.
Can't?
He's like, you sure? But what's great about CRISPR is it's cheap and it's accurate. like anyone can do this almost. It's not that hard to
Like
program.
a Remington 700.
Sure. You pick your gun analogy. I won't dispute that. So what CRISPR is, it's an acronym, right? And I think it's clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repetitions.
Repeats.
Repeats.
How the fuck did you just... You
I think-
actually did read this, like, thoroughly.
Where's your
just
book? Where's your,
rattled
wait,
that
where's
off.
your
I
book?
don't have a book today.
Where's your book on
How
this?
long did that
It's
take
all
to
it's all up
memorize?
here. So
We don't have anything up there.
where this came from is actually kind of cool. It's like a little happy accident that found purpose with modern computing.
That's what I am.
That is literally Jake. That is literally Jake. A happy accident who found purpose through modern computing.
It is. You would have been useless before algorithms were a thing, right?
Wow.
Or
I mean, that's... I think I've been okay at other stuff.
Nope.
A couple times.
Nope.
No, that's pretty much it.
Name 3 times.
Chimp videos.
That's modern computing.
Finding. Oh, shit.
I'm good at offending people. Is that a
Probably
career track?
stems from
Yeah,
your
but you
modern
wouldn't
computing
stand
now.
out back in the day. That would just be everybody, right?
Yeah.
Just say whatever the
And
fuck
you wouldn't
they
be as
want.
offensive if you didn't have the internet. You couldn't look up half of your offensive stuff.
Yeah.
The internet has fueled you.
You're an
It
offensive
has
forwarder.
shaped you.
Yeah, would
It
you have
has-
been organically offensive?
So you're not a content creator in the realm of
Yes.
offense.
I think he would have been more. I think you would have been more offensive. I think you would have been like ignorantly offensive. I think now you have the resources to make like you make jokes offensively, but you don't actually mean them most of the time. I hope.
Yeah.
The doubt.
It's a tough call on a lot of fronts. So CRISPR.
Yeah, so what I mean by all that, I think it was in the 80s. It was a Japanese researcher looking at E. coli viruses or bacteria, rather.
Sure.
And they were sequencing the DNA. And they noticed that certain patterns were emerging, which is odd in DNA.
Okay.
Usually it's just this kind of noise. It's this random combination of whatever the 4 letters are
Right.
of those proteins.
Yeah.
Adenine,
Thymine,
thymine, glycol?
Gee.
Glycamine?
Glycamine, something?
ATG.
is all in it.
ATGC, yeah. So it's usually just a noise of those. It's like static almost. So when you see
Right.
patterns, it's noteworthy. And then when you see patterns in a lot of places, what that means is that Darwin said that this is useful, right?
Okay.
When something is preserved, there's a reason for it.
Okay.
So he said, that's odd. And then that was kind of the end of it for a while. And then once we were able to like sequence genomes and store them with modern computing and processing power, they took those clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats and compared them to other genomes that
Right.
they found.
They found they were.
And what they decided, or what they discovered, is that the DNA that's in between those repeats is virus DNA that was in bacteria.
Yeah.
So what happened was they decided that this was a defense mechanism for bacteria, and it's fucking cool. So bacteria are apparently like at war with viruses all the time. Like
Right.
40 or 50% of bacteria in the ocean like die every year from viruses.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Viruses are little assholes. It's everyone's enemy.
Even the bacteria hate them.
So their defense mechanism of a bacterial cell is to release enzymes to go fight the viral incursion. And it doesn't always work. But when it does, the enzymes kind of like gather up that DNA and they store it. And it's like, it's a memory.
Is it like quarantine or is it?
No, it's like a reference. It's like when I see this DNA pattern, because that's how viruses, I think, kill stuff, is they inject their DNA into your cells.
Yes.
And then it like destroys the cell, or it like makes new viruses come out of that, or
it allows
takes
the
over.
virus to reproduce, and
Yeah.
usually reproduction
At the cost
ends
of the host
with
cell.
the cell bursting,
right.
which is
Oh yeah, it gets full of viruses and
It's
gets
Like
torn
you know
apart.
the spider bites that you see, and then they grow and grow, and then eventually a bunch of little baby spiders come out of them.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. So if the defensive enzymes in a bacterial cell were able to defeat the virus, it took some of that DNA and used it as a reference, so that the next time it saw this DNA, it could be like, oh shit, boys, red alert. Here comes that virus thing
Right.
again that we've seen before.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. So then it would make these proteins where they would put this piece of DNA into this protein, and it looks like a big clamp. And it would send out these proteins that if you find a match for this specific sequence of DNA, you like clamp down
Right, it latches
and
onto it.
isolate that. Yeah. So what
So
it
they
became
use
is,
it as a reference, and then they have like a quarantine.
so you have
mechanism in
like
it.
the most specific targeted attack you could ever dream of.
Right.
It's down to the DNA level. You can go find this specific thing and kill it.
Wasn't there something to do with how long the sequence was too, that it could store up to like 20?
I don't know about the length.
Because I think there was something that was similar to this that was happening, but this was the longest, so it was far more accurate and
Okay.
efficient as a result.
Yeah, because if it's like a combination of like 4,
Right. I think this was like
you could see it all over the place.
right. Exactly. That repeat was a lot
Oh, okay.
lot shorter, so I think it was a lot
No,
longer.
what the repeat was the bookend.
Sorry, not repeat,
That
sequence.
told, yeah, that's how it marked that here comes a useful bit of DNA that's
Right.
not
Here
mine.
comes the shit.
It's in between this bookmark.
Okay.
Yeah. So then how we've expounded on that is I don't know how they do this, but they're able to take those bookends and put in whatever DNA we want. And then they
Right.
can inject that into a person, and it can go find like the bad DNA that's like
Right.
responsible for Alzheimer's or something like that. And it can go remove it all over the place and just get rid of that
Right.
DNA. And apparently replacing it with good DNA is really easy. We have like repair enzymes that are always active. And if you just get the good DNA sequence in the right
Right.
neck of the woods, it'll be like, oh, this goes there. And it'll replace it.
Huh.
So any like disease that stems from bad DNA, if CRISPR gets like understood and developed enough, can just be fixed. Like muscular dystrophy, multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's.
They fix before you get it, not while you have it.
I don't know enough to say that.
Is it something that you can have?
Well,
it's something that you do before.
I know. Muscular dystrophy.
Yeah.
The problem with that disease is you don't grow the protein that makes your muscles strong, and they turn into like fatty substrates, and they just become useless, right?
Yeah.
But in mice, and I think Iceland, they were able to reverse it after they already had it. But I don't know if that's like an across the board thing that you can reverse.
It probably
These
depends on
disorders?
whether there's physical damage that
Right.
your body
Is
is no
irreversible
longer
or not.
capable.
Yeah.
But, like, is this
like if your
something-
brain is turned into Swiss cheese, you're not
You're
reversing
fucked.
that shit.
Yeah.
Is this technology that they're trying to implement before, while a baby's being born?
So here's where it's really tricky: is you're fucking with genes
yeah.
on something that can't give consent when you do it with a child.
Yeah, but what if why don't they just do it for once people have grown up and can consent?
Yeah, that's a totally different thing.
Would that still work? Because how would that?
I don't know.
I don't think so,
Like-
Barry, because
like-
your genes have already been.
It depends. Like I'm saying, like specifically when the muscular dystrophy thing, so far what we've seen is you could reverse it.
It goes in and it replaces the existing.
It makes your muscles stronger, and you come back from that disorder.
in all of your DNA.
Well, I mean, it's also operating on similar principles. It's probably reproducing rapidly,
Yeah.
going through.
Yeah.
But where this gets really muddy is we do in vitro fertilization already,
Yeah. Have you?
and a lot of times people are able to pick the gender of the child.
So we're getting some
Right, they
designer
can do
babies.
even more
in
So
than
here.
that.
we're
They can
all-
do hair color, eye color.
Can they already?
Not right now, no.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Right now, our precedent is
amazing.
where there's already some selection in process.
Are they? Have they already legally allowed that?
Yes,
I don't think so.
I think so.
I don't think so.
To do what?
Can you Google
Can
that?
you
maybe?
can you legally?
I think you can pick the gender.
I think there's. I think alligators, their gender of their offspring depends on what temperature the eggs are kept at.
That sounds like one of those old wives' tales about.
I don't think that applies to people.
well, maybe it might. Maybe it's just because you have multiple fertilized zygotes, and they can know this one's male, this one's female, and you pick which one you
Yeah, I
want.
think that's
to
an easy one.
be.
Mhm.
But that's
Easier,
not.
right?
But that's not your actually.
When they do IVF, they make
Yeah.
a lot of embryos.
Exactly. So maybe
that's
they're-
where we get our embryonic stem cells. It's like
Yeah.
I make 50 embryos for you, and you inseminate with one or two, and we're gonna discard the others.
The rest go in the blender.
That's what we get our embryonic stem cells from. Are
what I get my
those
breakfast
that are gonna
eggs
get
from.
discarded
But
anyway?
that has nothing to do with CRISPR. That's just picking. Oh, I want
No,
to be male or female.
Right. It's just our
Egg.
first foray into this
Mhm.
ethical framework of like, do we modify babies?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because body modification is already
But you don't do it on
totally
you don't do it on kids.
acceptable. It's like going to the gym, right? You're modifying your physiology in a positive way.
Yes.
So is it worse?
Do we call that body mod though?
I don't care what you call it. It's what you're doing.
I think
You're
there's
not modifying your
there's
body.
a
Your body's
difference.
capable of doing that
There's
naturally.
a difference.
Yeah.
Well, your body's
Yeah,
capable of
that's
having the right DNA in the right
unimportant
circumstances. You're
distinction to me.
changing the circumstances.
that's like saying using steroids is
Right.
also natural.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you're
That's
boosting
more of
yourself.
a body mod.
I didn't say it was.
So-
I didn't say it was natural.
So here's I agree with Jeff on this. Like, wait, do I agree with you? What
I don't know if I've taken a stance yet. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, things that are reversible are a whole different ballgame than
Right.
things that are like going to the gym. I don't think is comparable to
not permanent.
The guy who decided he's a cat and got his ears pointed and it's fucking.
Oh, that kind of body modification.
Whiskers
yeah, it's a
implanted
whole
and that
nother
shit.
level.
That's
Well,
a
I
whole
don't care if
different
they do it. Yeah.
No, I don't care if they
Where
do.
I
I
agree.
would care if someone
Where
did
I
that to
draw
their
the-
kid,
Yes. See, that's where it's.
but I
tricky.
don't care if someone's kid works
if
out.
it's an embryo. Is
Yeah.
it so? Like, say you get an IVF. I think you're able to pick the gender, even if you're not.
Yeah.
It says here you can pick the gender,
Okay.
but it's not like you're picking which gender they're making. It's just they're looking at what the gender is
yeah.
going to be, and they're picking which egg they want to be
Right.
reinserted.
Okay.
There's two
So-
embryos.
Is that
one's
better or
one
worse?
of each?
So we've set the precedent for there's some selection at the embryonic level.
But it's
now,
not modifying any genes yet. They haven't modified any genes.
well,
yet.
selecting for
Right,
them
but
versus
they're
modifying.
selecting a thing.
You're
It's-
still
would've been
directing
it
the
would've
result,
been, It would
right?
have been a man. It would have been a boy and a girl if you would have reimplanted both.
Right. No, but I think we're talking about this from an ethical standpoint. This is our first
It's
this is
precedent on
fertilized. We're
directing the-
selecting things, right?
Yeah.
It's not about it being a comparable technology.
Yeah.
It's
So what if I said I could also make your kid taller, smarter, and immune to every disease?
Who says taller's better?
But that would require actual genetic interference.
right, but ethically, is it?
Well,
that
okay,
different.
you're saying it requires selecting genes versus selecting embryos, right? It's
No, it
just a
wouldn't be
different
selecting
level.
genes. They'd have to probably modify the genes.
That's what it is. Yeah, you're removing genes and putting in better ones. You're
but-
choosing that the ones there are no good, so I'm going to select the upgraded genes.
But that's
right?
actually modifying an embryo. They're not modifying any embryos. It's all naturally created, and they're just choosing which one to pick.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that
Well-
that's that different.
It is. I think it is 100%.
it seems
You're
semantical to
creating
me.
something that wouldn't have existed naturally.
Well, you're
Cool.
already doing
Is-
that with IVF.
Is
You're
the
not.
different?
Yes, you are.
Okay, I mean, yeah, you're creating a.
Those DNAs would have never met because that couple obviously has some problem doing it naturally, right? So it's already an unnatural thing. We're doing it in a laboratory. That you're combining DNA
A lot of the times it's
in
not
a
even-
petri dish.
The
it's not
important
even close enough for it to take a lot of the time.
Right.
The important
right. So
question
it's
here,
already
though, right?
unnatural.
is
the
from an
implementation is
ethical
slower.
standpoint. Is that a different thing? Which I don't really
Yeah.
know if it is. Right?
What, so what we have to also consider is that it's beyond just that kid, right? Like if you guys remember your Punnett squares, there's like a 50% chance that pre-selected gene that we're choosing is going to manifest in that person's kid, and then a 25% in the next person's kid.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a bigger question.
And it could have like recessive, recessive genes that go with it that could, if it was met up with someone else who had a recessive gene that
Yeah.
would have had, it could cause a disease in that in their baby. But I guess
Right.
you could just
Yeah.
modify
Right.
it out. I
Where
guess.
it gets
But-
really gnarly, look up gene drive. I forget exactly how this works, but this is like it's a complete game changer for this question. Is what they've done is in the CRISPR protein, they've also programmed another CRISPR protein to kill the competitive DNA in the next generation.
So is that where the RNA comes in? That's the string that they insert that they want to attack the virus.
RNA is just half the
Well,
the
gene
DNA.
drive is
that's how they
is a
select.
broader thing than that. Than what you're thinking.
But the
Gene
effects,
drive,
of,
they're
the effects
saying-
of gene drive on this technology is our selection becomes permanent. No longer with our Punnett squares does the next generation have a 50% chance. It's a 100% chance.
Yeah. So gene
So
drive
one-
is a technique that promotes the inheritance of a particular gene.
Yeah, so it guarantees that the next generation is
Doesn't
going to have
guarantee.
this.
It increases the chances,
Okay.
and they're already using it.
But what's gnarly, and really think about this, is because this technology is very inexpensive and because gene drives exist, one person can potentially change the genome of an entire species. If you alter one creature with a dominant gene and you give it enough time, you can completely cascade that through the whole genome.
Right. Butterfly affected out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking gnarly, right?
Yeah. So that's why there's some serious implications behind what's going on.
So yeah, a couple months ago, China did their first tests on human embryos,
Right.
which is not being done over here yet. It's pretty cool.
Good old
Cool,
China.
scary.
Probably why you shouldn't
Don't
do
let
it.
China do it.
If one person can, I don't know. I feel like we'll just.
You should let China do it.
I feel like it'll just. I feel like nature has taken a long time to get to where we are now.
But it's all been accidental nonsense. We've just stumbled our way here.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there have been a lot of
Exactly.
missteps.
Yeah, the problem with what you just said is that a lot of times there's an undertone of like, because it exists, it's better.
Right.
You know, like nature is apparently the correct way.
No,
of-
I just
of
think
it
there's been
doing
a
it.
lot of. There's probably been a lot of stuff that we would try to promote, genes that we try to promote.
Yeah.
Thinking it'd be better.
Yeah, and we wouldn't understand the
that it has
consequences.
selected that nature's already said it's not better.
Right.
Right.
Trial. We've had a lot of trial and error, and this would you know potentially fuck up a lot of people.
We still exist because of that.
To that point, like randomization is a really useful thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
if we start hand selecting everything,
Exactly.
we just ruin this whole like this wonderful like. What if there was some novel creative like we
Yeah,
didn't
I don't
even know
want
you
to sell
could change
nature
this
short. We're not smarter than a very complex system that has a zillion factors that are promoting the correct and strongest DNA combination, right? That the world is doing a better job. It's like the market, like thinking that you can control and tailor a business to be successful. There's no way you can quantify all the variables in the market to really
Sure.
understand it and do anything deliberate about it. You know,
There's always going to be an element of luck involved.
Nature's the same thing times 1,000.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's
Certainly there's some black and white stuff, right? Like Alzheimer's is bad. Let's fix it, right?
yeah, I think so.
And then fix it permanently.
Unless you do it, and then something worse is created because of it.
Yeah.
Which is possible.
Yeah, no,
I guess.
you have to be exceedingly careful with
It's
the whole thing.
it's almost better to just like figure out how to treat the disease.
So
when people
something
have
that's
it.
true of old technologies, like the gun, right? The gun doesn't do harm. It's the misuse of the gun, right?
Yeah.
But what the problem is, and this I've had to like rethink gun control a couple times, and it's because of this expanding potential of misuse. Like back in the day, if you had a sword, you could kill a couple people if you were pretty good before
Right.
you got taken down. And then we had muskets. You could like kill one guy for sure and then take a couple people before you got taken down. Nowadays with automatic weapons, you can take down 30, 40 people. I'm pro gun, by the way. I'm just saying there's this expanding thing to think
Right,
about.
right.
You can do a
Guns
lot more
are a
damage.
lot different now.
And now we have like dirty bombs, so like a couple people might do huge damage.
Right.
And now we have hacking the foundations of nature.
Yeah.
Where one person for not a lot it's like $75 to like rig up some CRISPR.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's
That
not
cheap?
much at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I heard that it was.
so one person can do unimaginable potential damage if this is abused.
Yeah. Although it could end up just being, you know, like when they cloned Dolly, right? And Dolly didn't live very long.
Yeah, Dolly
It
sucks.
could just be like that. It could just be like that organism, like that. Whoever they modify might come out and just be the genes just know
Yeah,
that it's not
it's a
right.
little
It just-
hunchback.
It could just have a ton of cancer, or who knows?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the implications could be because
Yeah.
it gets like this is not natural.
Okay, how about
Well,
here's
natural-
one that's really cool.
I get really hung up on this natural thing, you know, like
Yeah,
appeal to
natural is
nature
crap,
yeah, that's a really weird argument that people come up with.
I mean, I get
it
it.
is.
I get it.
You know,
because
I have a good example of this.
It seems
is
lower
like,
risk, but
so I mountain bike a lot, and I always hear talks about the wildlife and us interfering with them.
Right.
And I heard
Making
this one time.
trails that are only where the wildlife were.
Yeah, that the mountain lions were here first, right?
Right.
I hear that a lot, and it's like mountain lions live to be like 11 or something. There is not a mountain lion alive on this fucking planet
Right.
that was there before me.
that's how I.
Right?
That's
I
how
was
I,
here first.
That's how I measure my
like,
age.
duh,
I go,
mountain
I am
lions.
older than like the oldest cat now.
Right? Yeah, I am.
That's a big deal.
There's no natural order. I don't care.
already
I
supreme
am older
beings
than
here.
every lion on the fucking planet.
No, not parrots. Parrots live longer than humans.
He said every lion.
I just said supreme being.
But nature is this constantly changing
okay.
thing. There was a lot of ice ages and catastrophe and
There is.
resets long before we came along.
There
So
is,
this
but-
whole thing of the natural order being some like
Well, no,
respectable
what I'm
hierarchy.
saying is that if you-
I don't give it a lot of credit.
What I'm saying is if you come out of nowhere and you just modify the entire DNA sequence, which is a shitload of information.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is like, I forget how many the petabytes of information it is, like within a human.
Petabytes?
No, petabytes.
Petabytes?
Petabytes. It's a
Pizza
lot of
bear?
That's
like
how
if
much
you
hard
actually-
drive storage, like
No,
child
they're
pornography
They're
takes
actually already storing. They've already
Pedo Bear
they've
stores
already
his
taken
pornography on
DNA and they're
petabytes.
storing like information, like computer information, like files on DNA now, because you can store in.
up. That's another layer to this, is that it's just another code, and we know what hacking is.
Right.
It's very top of mind today, how you can manipulate codes of things.
Sure.
And if it's just a sequence that results in something, that's just functions you can manipulate.
So how do you go from looking at the code of DNA or RNA and then actually changing it?
You got to understand the
CRISPR.
language. You got to know that these words.
No,
like
I don't
these
even
things.
mean that. I mean like literally the changing of somebody's DNA.
CRISPR.
Okay, but like,
It is
how?
a. It is a.
So how do they insert this code?
It takes.
into the protein?
Sure. How does that work?
I don't know.
How do they create the code?
I'll tell you.
They might be able to do it in bacteria. Maybe they can replicate the environment of a viral incursion, and then the bacteria, through its own defense mechanism, might.
So I know it has to do
Store-
with
I don't know.
inserting the RNA sequence into the Cas9, which is the protein.
Yeah,
Which
in
CRISPR
between the
works
CRISPR sequences.
But how do they actually choose the order that's in the RNA, then get that into
the human
the Cas9?
Well, they already
And
know.
then- I know
they've
that
already
there's-
mapped the human genome.
yeah, so they
say,
pull out that sequence.
They say which piece
Yeah, but
is
what does
going
that
to be
mean?
replaced.
What does that mean they pull out? Like, what's
So-
the physical?
It's the bacteria using that protein to lock it down and isolate the thing, and then
Okay. So, but-
in the application
But he's
you were
saying,
talking
how do we
about,
program the protein?
Right. So how do you
at the most fundamental
I don't have
level?
a keyboard that I type in. Oh, this is what my sequence should be.
I think it's almost to that
I think.
level.
Yeah. I think
so.
it's like.
So how does that work though?
They have. I'm just imagining they have pools of these proteins, and they have some mechanism of putting them in the right order.
They
It's
have
like,
they
it's
have
like
ways-
catalyzing any other.
It's four
not saying
things,
that's
and you
not
have to
how it
line them
is.
up. Yeah.
They do have chemicals that'll like detach DNA strands at certain
Yeah.
points too.
Yeah.
So.
So what it
that's
says
crazy
here
they
is
can do
that the CRISPR-Cas system is a prokaryotic immune system that confers resistance to foreign genetic elements such as those present within plasmids and phages that provides a form of acquired immunity. RNA harboring the spacer sequences help Cas proteins recognize and cut
Right.
exogenous DNA.
Yeah, exactly.
Other RNA-guided Cas proteins cut foreign RNA. So CRISPRs are found in 40% of sequenced bacterial genomes and 90% of sequenced archaea. So they're not even every living thing, though. It says CRISPR is only found in 40% of sequenced
Yeah,
bacterial
it's a
genomes.
bacterial defense mechanism.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, they found it
Right.
in E. coli.
So I wonder if it's even.
Well, they're talking about inserting it into things.
Yeah, but they're saying that the CRISPR is actually. Is like, you mean putting that? It only works on stuff that has the.
Right. That specific
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
code.
Yeah.
Inside of
I
the
believe so.
DNA.
As far
Are you
as I mean,
certain? I was getting more under the impression that they're saying that only.
You can put any code in there and put it in any organism, and it'll go find the matching DNA and remove it. Is the power of this?
So you're saying that they can take a bacteria, insert their code, and then put that into any organism?
I don't know how they
Yes.
create it.
Okay.
That's what it. That's
so it's
what
not
it
like,
sounds like.
So like say a
I don't think
human
it's bacteria. I think it's just the proteins. Because
Well, it sounds like the
the
CRISPR
proteins operate. They were intended to operate just within the realm of the bacteria. I don't think
Oh,
they're
okay.
programmed to like leave that and go throughout your body.
Got it. So it's almost like
It's just the proteins.
It's almost like a prion. It's like a protein
Sure.
that just kind of
Yeah.
runs with it.
That's why this is so I think part of it is it bypasses our natural defenses because it's not like a cell that our immune system's looking out for. It's just some protein.
it's a
floating
protein,
around.
right,
Yeah,
right.
it's on the molecular level.
The protein latches on to the RNA
Yeah,
sequence.
it's a molecule, not a cell.
Right.
It's tiny.
So I guess they're already using it in one of the biggest uses of CRISPR right now is using it to sterilize the populations who have malaria of the
Mosquitoes?
Of mosquitoes.
Really?
Yeah.
So that way, mosquitoes with malaria won't be passing it on.
But what happens to the things that eat the mosquitoes? Right? This is what I mean about the unintended consequences.
I think
Right? What you were
mosquitoes are
getting
one of
to.
those things that are pretty.
I heard we could live
inert.
without them.
Yeah, I actually vaguely
don't-
remember reading that there would be no ecological catastrophe.
Yeah,
if
but I
we
don't know if that's
exterminated
true or
mosquitoes.
They're just one of those
Well, nobody knows
nature's
for sure
assholes.
that it's true, but I think that given like modern biology,
I wouldn't miss them.
I think like
I don't know.
There's no
We're-
shortage of bugs. It'd be a power vacuum and more bugs would move
there's
in.
a
or
lot
something.
more. There's a lot more that would go into a modern biologist saying we can get rid of mosquitoes than like when Mao exterminated the fucking sparrows and like destroyed China.
He's like, there is no ecological damage.
Yeah, have you guys heard about that? Mao and his sparrows, and
I haven't.
he
Go for it.
he like toured a farm. This is like something I could see Trump doing, right? He like toured a farm and he saw a sparrow like eat some of the wheat or something.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, these fucking sparrows, they're
We need to
fucking the
build a
farmers."
wall around this wheat.
So-
And we're going to
so-
make the sparrows pay for it.
Yeah.
They're
That's
taking all
basically-
our wheat.
So he saw this, just anecdotal observation, didn't consult anyone who was an expert, and then like had the government exterminate the sparrows,
Makes
which
sense.
did not go well because what happened was the sparrows were mostly eating the insects that eat the wheat.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, even if they were eating some of the plants, which is questionable if they were even doing that. And then, you know,
It's way worse to have the bugs.
the insects went way out of control. There was
Yeah.
a famine, and I think like 50 million people died.
Well, Australia
Jeez.
is a great. Have you guys known all the shenanigans they're doing in Australia?
With the frogs.
I think did it start as frogs?
I remember something happened with frogs where I saw.
The
I remember
introduced
watching.
ones?
I don't know if they introduced frogs or if it was
With
a
the monkey?
Well, they brought in rabbits at one point, which just went fucking crazy. And they had it's like the
Right.
largest, it's the longest fence on the planet. Goes across horizontally the entire continent of Australia is a rabbit fence.
Jeez.
Because they were on one side or the other and they wanted to contain it because they were just breeding like
Right.
as rabbits do, which is actually where the Fibonacci sequence first came from in math. Was a sequence to predict the breeding patterns of
does it all
rabbits.
come back to Fibonacci?
It wasn't quite exponential, but Fibonacci apparently
Was pretty
meaning
close.
was a
left,
pretty
man.
reliable predictor. Anyway, so then they brought domestic cats to kill the rabbits.
That didn't
And now
go
they're just
well.
out of control. Apparently, I heard this on Joe
cats
Rogan
are?
that if you look at like hunting magazines from Australia, they routinely bow hunt cats. And there's just like an
Wow.
Australian like holding up like a domestic house cat. Like, oh yeah, I got her.
Well, I remember seeing a video of like a bunch of frogs all throughout Australia, and they're driving over the road, and you just
Oh,
hear
they're
them go,
popping them?
pop, pop.
I think
Yeah.
that's a natural just like bloom of frogs. And
Really?
Yeah.
I think
You gotta hit 'em at the right angle.
And the cane toads, right? I think
I'm not
those
sure.
were. I think those were an introduced species that got out of control.
I think they were.
The New Zealand, the entire continent of New Zealand is like that. It was like owned by like one British guy, and he would introduce game just for him to hunt. But there were no other like predators of anything. So there's just all this shit that's out of control over there, just because some British dude wanted to kill it.
So this is why Australia and New Zealand are terrifying.
I
don't know if New
New
Zealand's
Zealand's not
terrifying.
terrifying.
They
no.
were independently terrifying. And then
The Maori are pretty scary. You guys know about the Maori? They used to
tribesmen?
make they would make like these badass jade weapons, and they do the most masculine thing ever invented called a haka.
Okay.
Oh, the
Oh,
dance.
yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
dance. Yeah, it's so sick.
from, like,
a lot of the rugby teams do it.
yeah.
And they just like they have really mean looking faces.
They go crazy faces.
Yeah, it's like
It's like you're supposed to just like let the spirit do whatever it does.
yeah, they're like they look fucking possessed.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're just stomping around like a sumo wrestler, like pre-bout.
You know who's big
And
on
they
that?
yell and they do them at funerals. They scare your dead body into resting or
Well, it's
something.
supposed to be like
I don't know
I
the
think it's supposed to
Right.
be like just a sign of respect. I think I don't know.
Tradition.
I remember
cool.
seeing one.
I get the shivers. I don't know.
There's one in Fast and the Furious 7. Who's that? The Rock.
I haven't seen it.
He does that?
The
No,
Rock.
it's not The Rock. It's Dwayne Johnson. in
Dwayne
that
Johnson.
Movie. Yeah.
The Rock.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He's
Not to be
really
confused
big
with
on that.
Dwayne the
he does
Cock
one.
Johnson.
He does one in.
Sorry, that was a poor reference. There's
I think
a
he
great
did one in
troll going
Moana.
around. Like, did you ever notice that The Rock looks just like Dwayne Johnson?
I think.
Who knew?
I think he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood right now.
Yeah, something
Really?
like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Huh.
Heard
Yeah.
Stan Lee was the highest
Grossing.
grossing actor of all
And
time.
but
Really?
it's grossing by association. It's
Yeah.
the movies he's been
He's-
in.
he's
have
technically
made
been
the
in these
most
movies.
money.
He's
Yeah.
gross by
He's
association.
cameoed in every Marvel movie.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Wasn't he DJ in a strip club
Well, they,
in the last one?
In Deadpool.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, but Dwayne the Rock is a.
He's not The Rock anymore. I think the WWF or whatever owns the rights to that.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
Dwayne Johnson is
yeah.
big on
I
that.
still smell what he's cooking.
He did one with a bunch of like a little tiny soccer team of girls in Fast and Furious 7.
Oh,
yeah.
they're sick.
Random.
They're really cool.
I think they would have
It's the most
Moana
like
too.
masculine thing you
Yeah.
can do. It's bad. Second place is like Irish shanties. You know the songs they sing on the boats.
Oh,
No?
I seen the Norwegian ones.
Oh, okay.
Like I saw one in the video. They're all like
Are they,
standing
like,
up on the
rowing?
masts.
Are they,
No,
like,
they're all
rowing songs?
standing on the masts and they're singing this like shanty as they
So
go into
cool.
this port and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
so cool.
Yeah, that's a good video.
Neat.
Sounds awesome.
All right, so CRISPR.
Yeah, so they can do supposedly. You can do things like turn an elephant into a woolly mammoth, and
It's insane.
kind of like if there's some base DNA there, you can kind of do whatever you want.
So is that
So
like,
we might be able to get like gorilla strength and shit like that. I don't know.
So wait, this is post birth? They can turn an elephant into a woolly mammoth, theoretically?
That's what I don't get either. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
is
it's-
it like
I don't know
in
if
the
it's post-birth.
embryo they
I
do
don't know.
this?
I don't
I
know.
think it probably depends on what they're trying to do.
Because that's
I would
crazy.
assume.
It's like all of a sudden they
Probably as
inject
long as you're
this to
still
you.
in your development curve.
Okay.
I would assume.
So like say they have like a human and this person's alive and we already know that there's certain people that have like 6 fingers. They inject this thing and all of a sudden you
Polydactylism.
start growing a 6th finger.
Yeah.
Like
Well, if you're already developed, you're probably not growing new.
Which
well,
isn't
that's what I'm wondering.
It's not bad. Polydactylism is actually kind of a cool thing for,
Sure.
for human beings. So a lot of times you get like opposable thumbs on your
Yeah.
hand, on one hand.
Oh,
You can really grab some shit.
like
yeah.
2 opposable thumbs.
Yeah.
Weird.
Sick.
was going to say, I do have opposable thumbs on my hands, Jeff.
Cats get polydactylism a lot. Some of them have thumbs, but they don't do anything. They just kind of stick out.
Right.
Yeah, that's common.
But yeah, so let's go around. Cole, what would you do if you could change anything about your genome?
I'm perfect. I wouldn't change anything.
All right. Great answer.
Smaller penis, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets in the way.
It's been a problem, yeah.
You just want to be able to wear shorts again?
Yeah,
Well, I'm
would
short.
be nice.
Without it hanging out the
It would
bottom.
be nice. I don't know. I wouldn't want. I don't know. That's why. That's the argument.
I don't know if the sky's the limits, but I think they could do a lot.
I don't think I'd want.
It's like if you could just skip the gym thing and have gorilla strength, because it's not like they work out, right? It's their muscle structures. It's the DNA of how they're built is what makes them so strong.
Yeah, I think you know what Jake's gonna say.
Yeah, you could just 69 in front of children like those other gorillas you showed us.
I actually didn't see that.
Would you do anything to your DNA, Jake?
I do a shit ton.
What would you do?
Taller.
Well, first of all, what's your goal here? And then how are you changing yourself
for me personally
to meet that goal?
just to be
you gotta have
optimally built for
Okay.
physical attractiveness, right?
All right.
So taller, naturally high strength.
Cole's
You don't
already
think
there.
much about how you appear, do you?
I don't know. I'd never think about my appearance at all.
You weren't here an hour late because you spent time pressing your shirt.
I don't know if I'd go much taller. I'd probably only add an inch or
Yeah.
two.
How tall are you?
I'm like 6'0".
I think that's
5'11",
good. I think you could
6'0".
add 2 inches.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to start buying
He
my
needs more than
clothes
2
at
inches.
specialty stores.
Yeah, I'm
Where's he
6'5",
adding
and the thing is like garage doors and things like that. They're all around like 6'3".
Yeah.
I have this like sway when I go under stuff. There's just this natural duck I've developed from hitting my head a million
the
times.
duck that wasn't.
Yeah, being short's great.
No, just the duck that is.
I'd add a little length and girth. Not too much. You don't want to be poking out of the shorts, but little bit never hurt.
This is
This seems really unimaginative that you would just be taller with a bigger
Yeah.
dick. Like I could
I
predict
don't-
this answer.
Why should it be imaginative?
I was
Why-
just
You don't
expecting
want
I
gorilla
want
strength?
I want I said gorilla strength.
Oh, okay.
I want to be like naturally super strong.
I would
wants to be able
I-
to fling feces.
I would
just
want-
like
I'd make
them.
myself more intelligent.
You could probably do that.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
think
that's
so.
I don't know about
that's
that.
definitely been discussed.
Photographic memory
Well,
would be fantastic.
IQ.
So
I
that's-
think it's hereditary. Haven't they shown that in studies?
Well, that's one of the
A
things
huge
that
portion of
I don't think photographic memory can be seen in your genome.
I would be willing to bet it can.
It's
I
we
don't
might
know
not
about
maybe we haven't identified it yet.
A lot of the shit in the brain they don't understand.
Yes.
I'm not saying that we have the technology. I'm saying it's probably in there.
It might be, yeah. But
just
I
if
don't
you
know.
could. This is like an anything kind of
Yeah.
scenario.
Oh,
It's
then
like
I'll fly and I can do it.
Yeah, and I wonder.
Okay, so you would add wings
within
large
physics
wings.
limitations.
Well,
right?
well,
I don't
within
think you can
physics,
do that.
you could
Why not wings?
add hollow bones.
could
you
probably
could
have
add
wings.
Because you have to remember that part of CRISPR removes DNA.
it's about
and then your
mutations,
body
right?
has to replace it with something that it recognizes as the
Oh
correct
yeah,
DNA.
you're saying
Okay,
that
so
current-
take my shoulder blades and replace them with wings.
But I don't know if you put in the wing DNA, if your natural repairing enzymes would say like, "Oh, these wings, they're sick. I've never seen these before." Yeah, fucking plug them in.
Well, there are.
But
ways,
if you could.
there are ways to insert foreign DNA into things.
That's
and
what
make
we've been
them-
doing so far, and it's like 1% accurate.
That's what I did last night.
Inserting it into. Okay.
Nice.
But if you could actually have wings, you're like the only human that has wings.
Everybody would have fucking wings. Yeah.
Okay, but say it wasn't as accessible.
You'd have to have hollow
You got like
bones,
this
too, though.
option, and you're like the only human that has wings. Would you? Or would
Yeah.
you not
Sure, I
want to
would.
be socially
I would. No.
ostracized?
No,
as a result?
no.
I don't care about social.
I would be
ostracizing.
giving them the bird as
Okay.
I'm flying away like a bird.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not social, but just regular life. All of a sudden, a lot of things that you do become more complex as a result.
sitting in a car.
Laying,
Yeah.
sitting
I
in a
wouldn't
car.
sit in a car.
I'd have to sleep on my side.
That's true.
Why would I sit in a car? I'd be flying everywhere.
Yeah. That's tiring,
Well, that's a
dude.
lot of work. Yeah, it's flying's probably.
I'm just saying it wouldn't be as easy as an option
I don't know if
as
flying
you
would be
guys are
tiring.
saying.
You could
No, there would be
Sure.
complications.
Yeah. You can't just be flying. No.
Obvious
hovering
answer.
right now.
I would immediately delete the retinal problem that I have in one
That's
eye.
a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
idea.
That's a easy use case for this.
Yeah.
That's not inserting
Yeah, I would
shit.
have
That's just
excellent eyes.
clean deletion. Clean deletion.
Yeah, and I think that's where everyone maybe should start with this stuff is you just at least get to an optimal baseline, right? And then we can look at
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. It's just
everyone's got their shit.
having no
you know?
problems. Just no health
All,
problems.
all you guys are
anymore. Have a
finally
lot.
turning 30, and you're starting to realize, like, oh, my body sucks.
I
and everyone's
swear to
body
God,
No,
sucks.
mine sucked since I was 16. So.
I swear on my 26th birthday, everything started
Just the
breaking.
next day.
Just that day. I woke up and I'm like, God, everything fucking hurts.
Did you start
Well, that
making
was the
noises when you
hangover.
put your socks on? That's when you know you're getting old. Is when you do the grunting.
yeah, when
was
you just
right.
start making noises for no reason,
when you
doing
reach,
stuff.
you lean
I'm
down
not
to put on
much-
that sock and you go.
I'm not much of a grunter.
I feel like we should have a disclaimer where we say this episode's probably going to have the most I was wrong in the next segment.
Yes.
Because this is such a complicated topic.
Yeah, and no one researched it.
No.
Fascinating.
I just want to say we are completely talking about our ass right here. If
Yeah.
anyone is actually involved in science of this,
We're sorry.
I'm sorry.
Or go further. Please write to us.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
about this
Hello
in a
at-
nice thing
What's
that
the
we
email?
can read
hello
next
at,
time.
hello at babblabpodcast.com.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to summarize what CRISPR actually is,
Or Facebook.
or just
whatever.
Just link the
fucking
article.
Rake goes over the coals on Facebook. Just say,
We'd love
"You
it."
Fucking idiots. And then just a long post.
we know we're dumb. So
By the way, a single gram of DNA holds 700 terabytes of data.
That's cool.
We should be making hard drives out of this shit.
They are trying it.
They're
already figuring it out. They stored files and were able to recover the files.
I've heard of molecular hard drives where the binary is a polarity of an atom, and they're able to manipulate that.
That's interesting.
It's cost prohibitive right now.
Yeah, I would have guessed so.
Yeah. But that's it's about as small as you can get.
I can't store my gorilla video
Right.
on my
Yeah,
molecular hard drive.
the ones and zeros are literally just positive and negative atoms
Yeah.
that are readable.
It could happen.
It's fascinating.
That's what they're doing with the DNA too. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just taking the strands.
We're gonna hit a cool place when like compression meets optimal storage options. You know,
middle out compression is what I'm all about.
Yeah, that started up again, by the way. There's like 3
I
episodes.
know it's pretty
out.
good. Pretty good so far.
Yeah, I don't have any crazy shit I'd be doing.
I think it would be
I think
a cool,
I think
like-
it gets a lot more interesting with the insertion, right? Like you guys have seen glowfish, right?
Like the fish that glow.
Yeah, they glow under a black
Yes.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are genetically modified organisms. They're really cool. They took zebrafish and other species of fish
they rub them together.
and they inserted like coral genes into them.
Coral.
I think it was
Had
coral.
some bioluminescence thing. or-
Well, they're not really bioluminescent. They glow under a black light. They don't
Okay.
produce their own light.
it's that pigment
but
thing.
they-
it's
they
like
are-
like white.
right,
Yeah.
right. But it's like
Anyone
a,
who's played laser tag knows you don't
It's-
fucking wear white.
White.
I think
The
the
black light's
wording. I
terrible.
think the wording is like a photoreactive pigment.
Oh, okay.
But they were illegal in California up until very recently. I think.
because
In a
of the
few
genetic
years.
Because it was a
engineering.
Because
GMO.
they were genetically engineered organisms, and the rules were kind of written. I think what they were really worried about was them becoming invasive species. If you genetically engineer something that's like a super predator and then
Right.
release it, which is a valid concern.
Yeah,
well,
things
they've
are
done
done
that, right?
But
Maybe
it was.
Well, we've finally we're getting a grip on our hubris, and we know that there's species we can't control.
not. Okay.
You know, like you guys know about coyotes.
I think I've heard
Well,
about this.
where they're interbreeding with like other shit.
No,
Dogs
yeah,
and
eastern
wolves and
coyotes.
shit.
Eastern coyotes are breeding with like red wolves,
Wolves,
or
aren't they?
something. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting
Yeah, that's
smarter and
causing a
stronger.
problem.
But no, coyotes. We've had bounties on coyotes for a long time, and then I think it was like Montana. They were still killing like thousands of wolves, right, every year, and rewarding a lot of bounties. And then 20 years later, it was like 200 wolves. There was just none. But
Right.
the
Yeah.
coyotes was the same. Every year, people would bring in like 20,000 coyotes that they've
Wow.
killed. And the reason is when they do their howls, their little yips, it's like a roll call, right? And when one guy is missing, that triggers something in the females, and their litter size is double.
Whoa.
So
Wow.
the more that you attack these
How
animals,
did they figure that out?
the more they breed. It's sick.
That's really
insane.
cool.
Yeah. So now the coyotes are in every single state. They've spread as a result
Wow.
of human persecution.
There used to be a
that's-
coyote that would like walk through my backyard.
I saw one
a lot.
yesterday morning. I have,
They're
I have
like
pictures
they're
right
like
here.
hydras,
Yeah, you cut off a head.
and two more grow.
Yeah.
The invasive species thing is weird. You know, the pigs, the reason pigs got so out of hand is, you know, when the feral pigs reproduced with domestic pigs, they produced
Are they different?
like a super animal. Yeah, they
I
made
heard
something
that-
worse.
I
The
heard
feral
that
hogs or the wild
domestic
hogs.
ones. The reason it was like a result of them being in captivity. And apparently, if you release a domestic pig, it starts to like their face elongates. They start to grow bristles and tusks. Like
Wow.
within a couple months, their physiology changes
Huh.
as a result of being.
I don't know that.
free. I don't know.
I,
if that's
I
true.
do
I heard
remember
that.
reading that they have to kill something like 75% of the feral pig population every year just to
that
keep it.
one NRA guy goes around in a helicopter and just machine guns them. It's
Yeah,
so metal.
you have to do that to keep it stable. That's to
Well-
keep them from gaining numbers.
That guy was in my front yard
yeah,
just the
wow.
other day. Yesterday, the
Oh,
coyote.
neat.
Yeah, they're
So
running
you-
around all over the
hanging out.
place.
So you have
but anyway,
coyotes-
so the hubris we've learned is that we can't control nature.
So you got to be
we thought we
careful.
could forever.
You got to be really careful
So
with invasive species.
These glowfish,
We try
and
to-
these delta schmelt. You know, you got to respect them.
but they went a little overboard because like really it's a species of fish that can't survive in the wild here anyway.
Then what are we worried
the base
about?
fish.
Yeah.
And then they
Well,
modified it to make it less practical to survive in
Yeah.
the wild.
that happened with
yeah.
lionfish in the Caribbean. Aren't they all over the place? because a couple people had like tropical fish in Florida, and they
released the fish
they
tank.
released them because they didn't want the fucking fish anymore, and they just are thriving over there. So is that nature happening, and we respect that, or do we have to try and fix what we've done? Because there's no fishing limit right now on lionfish.
I think
over
you
there.
try to fix what you did in those cases.
That's not nature.
But we are nature too.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
We are.
the distinction is
Right?
not
We're-
important.
it's
The
like-
issue more is
That's
that
why I hate that it's natural thing.
then,
Like,
then,
what
then,
isn't?
then obviously you're okay with
It happened. That means it's natural.
Then you must be okay with global. That means you don't want to stop global warming then, because
well, no, that's stopping a thing.
No,
that
but
you
it's
think
natural that
is
it's natural.
negative.
We're natural.
No, but
that
but it's
doesn't
also
tacitly mean
natural.
it's good.
or bad.
Not only that, but it's also natural for us to want to combat it. Like if we're
should we though? Because we're natural.
We
Sure,
should.
we're natural.
Yes.
No,
Naturally, we built.
That's what
houses.
I'm against.
This is not. It's not a fatalist viewpoint.
No,
it's
listen.
a viewpoint that appeal to nature is a fallacy, which it is.
This
That's
is an important
widely known as
nuance:
a
is that
fallacy.
saying it's natural is over in this bucket, but then deriving a judgment on that isn't a clean action. You can't
Right.
say because it's in the natural bucket, that means it's good and should be left alone.
No,
right?
not only
we can,
that.
we can change things. We have a role to play here.
Sure,
But not only that,
So
you
I'm
can't-
not saying like global warming. Yeah, I'm just.
But
gonna
you just asked
dump it-
like we invaded a species and now it's taking over. Should we try to interfere or should we not? Because that's natural.
right. Yeah.
I think he was trying
So-
to make a point that appeal to nature doesn't work.
Yeah,
in
you
these
have to make
scenarios,
judgments on
right?
these things.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah, but I think you're also going from the definition of what natural is. You have to define that. And saying that we're not natural
I don't think there is one.
building house. Yeah, there's not. It's really complex. But
Yeah.
we build houses, we
That's
build
natural.
buildings. That's natural.
Yeah.
We're like a complex beehive.
Yeah.
Us to defend against other animals that are trying to overtake, that's natural. That's our natural instinct to do so. Us to go against global warming is also natural because we realize that it's a problem.
Self-preservation.
What about when
Right.
what about when we're creating chemicals that do not exist in nature? They only exist because of our ingenuity.
By that definition, that's still natural. See, the problem is that's
Yeah.
no longer a useful
I just don't
definition.
think it's-
Well, no,
because
if
it then
doesn't
applies
if it doesn't
to-
occur in nature and only
But we're
humans
nature.
create it.
But
houses
humans
don't
are
occur
nature.
in
I know we are. I know we
Yeah.
are. But
That's-
we're creating something that doesn't.
It's like
not
saying
found in
saying
nature.
beehives don't exist in nature. Bees make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't think so.
It's
the
exactly
same
the
thing.
same thing.
We're just a way more complex beehive.
Yeah.
If you can't find it anywhere,
We can.
You can.
We
Humans
made it.
Yeah.
Ergo natural.
so
You couldn't find beeswax before there were bees.
This is the human hubris. Like we're not special. We're just slightly smarter monkeys.
Right.
That's it.
to say what we're doing is not natural.
That's all it takes in
Is-
nature. You just have to be a little bit smarter, and you can just run away with it.
Now,
That's what we've done.
I will say, like,
yeah.
that definition makes sense, right? You could call anything we do natural because we are occurrences
Yeah.
of
That's
nature.
But you can't trust that on
if
products
it's
either.
if it's not supernatural, then it's natural, right?
Right.
That's the
Sure.
definition there. But
Basically, like if it exists,
that's a good line.
it's natural.
it's not a useful framework either.
right.
I agree.
Either way, it's
Yeah,
not
that's-
it's not a super useful framework because
Yeah, it's a
people
really
try
bad
to
argument. That's
people
what I
try
was
to
getting at.
pull a value statement out of whether or not it's natural, but
Exactly.
there
Yes.
still is value in recognizing that this is natural, this is man-made, right? That's where the line should be. And I know, yes, humans are natural,
Yes.
right? But it's not.
But we've
it's
got
not
to
a
the point
semantic
where
article,
we've affected the world
argument.
so much that you can't observe anything that happens without us interfering because we've touched
Right,
everything.
But there's a degree of minimizing that.
Sure.
But I think
Yeah.
it's far more valuable to say instead of man-made versus natural, if this is good or bad.
Oh,
And
definitely.
that's also subjective,
Definitely.
but it's a much better separation, and you can look at the actual consequences of the things you're talking about
Oh,
rather
absolutely.
than saying this thing was made by humans. That's not natural.
no.
It just
Arsenic-
doesn't mean anything.
arsenic occurs naturally. You don't. It's just. That's
Yeah, and it's not great. We're trying not to ingest that.
fucking.
That's natural for us to not
asbestos
ingest
occurs
it.
naturally, doesn't it?
I think so.
I don't know. Cyanide's
So
in a
does
lot
lead.
of fruit.
Lead occurs naturally.
Yeah. But I mean, you look at like a
Naturally
city,
in a-
right? You go in downtown LA, and you see this jungle of cement.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel natural.
Right.
Homeless people jacking off on the Walk
Yet-
of Fame.
It's not. People will say it
Nature.
doesn't feel natural, and then everybody flocks to it. So it's pretty. It's
Yeah.
got to be natural in some
I hate
way.
that we
shape, or
live on
form.
top of each other.
It's just some people like it though. You might hate it, but it's natural for these other people to like it.
My way is the best way.
My way is the only way.
Look at a beehive. They all live together.
Yeah, idiots.
Fucking morons. Yeah. Let's kill
for
all the
that one
bees.
bee.
Oh wait, we already are.
I think most populations have.
I heard it was cell phones that are killing the bees.
No.
I heard it was
like, can't-
pesticides, but
Ow.
It's like a lot of animals are in tune with things that we're not, right? Like a lot of birds
true.
of prey can see the UV spectrum,
Right. Okay.
and that's a
Yeah,
way
they
to
have the
like
extra
track
cone.
rodent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what if there's
shrimp
another
mantis shrimp?
perceivable sense that's like
Yeah.
I've heard
a
people.
cell phone signal is
I
just
saw that
another
movie.
length on
That doesn't strike me as impossible, but I thought colony collapse syndrome was like very
Spoiler.
clearly linked to
pesticides.
pesticides.
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
Spoiler: Bruce Willis is dead.
That's like the same
whole
people
time.
who claim that they're allergic to Wi-Fi.
allergic to Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
A lot of people say they are
people do claim
sensitive to
that.
Wi-Fi, and they actually manifest symptoms. They actually manifest symptoms.
Psychosomatically.
Psychosomatic illnesses.
And it's it really is. And they've even done like tests, and the people
They tell them the Wi-Fi's
they
on.
tell them Wi-Fi's on, and they feel sick. Yeah,
Yeah, but the Wi-Fi's not
It's
on.
not. It's not. No. Yeah,
idiots.
and yeah, I don't want to go too further.
I'm just saying I heard that. Yeah. I don't know if it's true.
Okay. The interesting thing about CRISPR, I'm reading the article right now.
Finally, something interesting about this groundbreaking,
I think
revolutionary.
I thought it was
the
pretty
most
boring up till
interesting
now.
thing for me is the risks, and they're talking about them here.
Okay. Celebrities get to make designer babies.
No.
Number one.
So in 2016, Director of National Intelligence was saying that it could be used as a potential weapon of mass destruction.
Right, because you can select like all the Iraqi DNA. This has a really good antibiotic application because you can find a piece of DNA that's essential for staph infection to live.
Okay.
And you can program CRISPR to go fuck up that piece of DNA, and then the staph can't live anymore.
Okay.
And all the side effects of antibiotics are meaningless now.
So
'Cause
you
can-
find something that Iraqis need to live.
yeah, something specific to their DNA.
Yeah,
Well, they're
yeah.
also
Like,
saying-
like fucking.
We don't need an example.
They're also
Nope.
they're also
Nope.
saying it could be used to make like and killer mosquitoes that you could introduce into a country, and it would just give everyone their diseases.
Yeah. Wow.
See,
you could
fuck
introduce-
that because you can't
That's-
control that weapon anymore.
That's
right?
terrifying.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and or wipe out all the crops and like kill everyone. Like
Right. Yeah.
And then one of those gets shipped over
Holy
here on
shit.
accident, and we can't control it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
This
Two
is-
mosquitoes.
This is what I'm talking
turn into
about. This
a billion.
expanding potential disaster, right? With weapons. Like if you had a crazy person who was armed with the science of a sword,
Yeah.
that's a completely different
Right.
thing.
And
you
that's
know?
why that's why they're saying like
Someone with CRISPR using it the wrong way could literally kill everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Our planet could die.
And that's why this guy's so concerned because he's saying like
Crazy.
It's gnarly,
people
right?
could do it accidentally.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
other.
accidentally.
There's a lot of college kids that are like learning about this.
Right? They want to
Yeah.
hack it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah, he's
oh, this
saying-
is cool.
Yeah,
New-
you figure out what's responsible for like photosynthesis in plants, and you're like, let's get rid of that.
Just turn that off. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, where's the on switch?
Oh, I killed every plant.
Yeah. This guy's saying that some of these like he's worried about low cost biohackers, what they're calling them, perform
Right.
their own experiments
Right, it's
and
cheap.
then accidentally release a genetically modified
and then
bugs.
It gets into the water supply.
But it's
and then we all die.
only if it's armed with gene drive.
Yep.
Is-
But
what is
usually
that problem?
It usually but it
Can you
usually
explain that
is.
one more time? Gene drive.
Gene drive is like
Is that it guarantees its dominance in the next generation. So Punnett squares, how those
Yeah,
work,
okay.
where it's 50% and then 25 and it gets diluted.
Makes it that it's 100%.
It makes another copy of itself so that it kills the competitive DNA.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So I actually remember this too. In 2001, these researchers released this paper in the Journal of Virology that explored like they were trying this tactic to control a population of mice, and it got under a lot of fire if they could release that paper at all because it went into detail on the methods on how to do this.
It's like releasing the blueprint for an atomic
Yeah,
bomb.
so they said it released sensitive information that could lead to the manufacture of biological weapons by potential bioterrorists who might use knowledge to create vaccine-resistant strains of other pox viruses, such as smallpox,
Yikes.
that could affect humans. Because they were using a pox to control the virility of the infectious mice. You could just apply it to smallpox, and all of a sudden, now no one can cure smallpox.
And I think there is a flip side to this coin that's equally awesome to how terrifying that one is, though.
Yeah,
Needless to say, this is incredibly powerful.
yeah,
And I think we could do some really badass things with it, with more understanding.
yeah. The scary thing is that how affordable it is and how accessible
Yeah.
it is. And
See, like nukes are one thing, right? But
Right.
you're processing
hard.
uranium requires an immense amount of like machinery and time.
and a lot of knowledge on
Well, it's a fairly simple process. It just takes a long time to refine enough to be usable. You need a lot of centrifuges to separate
It's
it.
not just the uranium
it's a
that goes
capital
into making the
investment.
bomb, though. I mean, you can't just put a uranium in a bomb and drop it, and that's not a nuke.
If it's the
It's
right,
just, it's the actual splitting of the atom, or the yeah. That's what
it's just
creating-
no. creating the substance that has a cascading reaction is the challenge. But adding enough energy to begin that isn't hard. I think they just have typical warheads.
I'm not sure.
Isn't it mostly done by firing rods at each other? Isn't that how nuclear fission works?
I don't know.
It's uranium rods.
Oh, that's
right?
a hydrogen bomb.
Fission is
fission.
combining.
That's
No,
fusion.
that's fusion.
Okay, fusion. Yeah, fission is separating of them.
Yes, which is firing rods together, which causes them to detonate.
I don't know. I know how nukes work. Is it's a self-sustaining reaction that enough of this molecule or atom breaks off, and then that energy is transferred to the next one.
That's
and
right.
That causes it to release.
They were worried about how far-reaching that might be.
Yeah, they
Remember
thought
when
there was a chance of the atmosphere catching on fire.
Yeah,
I remember that.
when they were testing the first nukes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
The entire atmosphere, all of it.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere is gone, and the end.
And then they were like, "We're pretty sure that won't happen." So let's
Pretty
just
sure.
give it a
That
shot.
was like the Hadron Collider. They're like,
Yeah,
we're
it
pretty
might
sure we
create
won't
a
make
black hole that will swallow the Earth. But we don't think it
Probably
will.
not. We don't. So
We're gonna try it anyway.
We're gonna give it a go.
This is
On
how
the off
sick it
chance.
is to be alive right
Yeah.
now.
That's like me working on the website and I like make a change. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is not gonna break it.
Yeah.
I'll just do it live.
all these new technologies we're hearing about, like artificial intelligence, self-driving cars, CRISPR, a new understanding of particle physics, like
Yeah.
the
Sounds
effects
amazing.
of these things going wrong completely or going right even.
Right.
The effects of these things in general just changes everything.
Yeah.
This is actually
Everything.
something else I wanted to bring up is so something Stephen Hawking has talked about is he's very concerned that if AI gets too advanced, it'll become self-replicating, it'll be
He
self-improving.
has a very negative. I don't like a lot of.
I agree.
He thinks
gotten
like
very-
all aliens are assholes, and he's
But
made a lot of
He
assumptions.
said in
that-
50 years he moved the timeline up to 50
Right,
years
right.
for
No,
the human race.
there's
if
a
nature
degree-
shit on me like it did to him,
There's
you'd be
a
cynical.
degree of like gloom and doom here,
Yeah.
Guys been sitting in a wheelchair just being upset for a long time.
Yeah.
But the point isn't invalid, right? Like it's theoretically possible to produce self-replicating machines. They could get out of hand, and the problem is that evolution is a very slow process. If they get enough velocity,
it depends. It depends. Evolution for bacteria is a very quick process.
right?
It's all relative.
due to lifespans.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about human evolution specifically
Okay.
in this case, and
but
the
evolution
concern-
of AI and them creating themselves, that could get exponentially shorter. They would get better at making more
right.
of themselves.
So the concern
they
there
would go
is
through
that
thousands of years of advancement.
is that we go through this point where we rapidly become obsolete,
Yeah.
and then like, what is the purpose of humanity anymore?
Right.
The AI is smart.
Michio Kaku
We're out.
had it. You guys know Michio Kaku, that Japanese astrophysicist. He had a cool. I think
The guy with the long hair, right?
Well, they all
the purpose is love, Jake.
And I think it might not have been him. So I'm going to say I just heard this. I don't know who said it. But what if the AI decides that, what hurts circuitry a lot is oxidizing it, right? Oxidizing metals, rust them,
To get
fucks
rid of the
everything up.
oxygen.
So what if the AI is like, I'm based on this type of physiology. I need to get rid of all this oxygen so I can live better.
Yeah.
Right.
Right?
So yeah,
How would they do that?
They think of a way in a
Kill
couple
all
generations.
of the plants?
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
I mean that's one way to do it. Release a CRISPR thing that stops photosynthesis.
But that's what's scary about AI is there's no more how are they going to do it.
Yeah.
They'll think of a way.
Luckily,
Because
I don't
what it is
think
intelligence. It's bottomless
we
intelligence.
won't be. I can't say this for sure, but I don't think we'll realize that in our lifetime.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I'm saying long term as a species,
Right.
there may come a day where we have made ourselves obsolete.
Yeah.
And if we don't find something
I hope we do it soon.
more powerful than evolution, our relevancy might be eliminated. So that's another application
that's
of
the
this
goal.
is the long-term survival of our species. It is.
I don't think our survival is tied to our relevance, though. Like once we get AI to just do everything, and we get into this post-commodity world, I think
gotta live.
that's when the chains are off.
Well, it doesn't matter what you think of it. It matters what the AI thinks of it, right? That's the point of this,
Sure.
right? Like,
Yeah.
is
It's true.
in order to keep up, this could eventually get to the point where we need to be constantly improving. Like
Right.
it may, and this is very
And
like
I don't know.
sci-fi.
That's
AI.
that's a
You know,
stretch for me.
Well, who says we're separate?
thousands of years
What if
from now, maybe.
we
But
are the AI?
Not our problem then.
We always integrate technology into ourselves. When we
right,
can.
which is the point where you really have to ask that question: is it better to be made irrelevant and extinct, or is it better to continue to evolve and be unafraid of taking these, not unafraid in the fact that you're being risky about it, but not taking this ethical standpoint of like, I don't want to mess with nature.
Yeah.
Like that viewpoint of like, I'm what I am, and I don't think it's ethical to mess with that, could lead to human extinction eventually.
Yeah.
Well, they don't even know if AI is possible.
It certainly
First of
leads to
all.
human stagnation. Like, what if in the
Are
Middle
you
Ages...
saying that AI is...
They don't even know if artificial intelligence is achievable.
They literally have done artificial intelligence.
Nothing that's passed the Turing test.
Okay.
Yeah,
but
they
that's-
have.
What?
I think the thing that beat Go passed Turing test, didn't it?
Oh, Watson?
I don't believe
Is
so.
that who did it?
Was Watson what beat Go?
I don't
No.
know, but what was
It's the
new?
DeepMind,
Watson
Google.
beat Jeopardy.
Oh yeah, Google DeepMind. But what was cool? Well, that's just
But it's
That's
still
just factory
artificial.
call.
It doesn't
That's
have to
easy.
pass the
Okay,
Turing
what I mean
test.
is-
what's
It's
cool.
artificial
Wait, hold on.
intelligence.
What's good about the computer that beat Go is it was an NP problem, and the only way to solve those is by learning. You can't just brute force with computation your way through them. Like
Sure.
you can with P problems.
But that's learning.
That's learning.
That's learning by saying, I did this, that didn't work, I'm doing the next thing.
No,
Which is how everything kind of learns, though.
That is how it learned. It
But-
played a million games against itself. That's how
no.
it
It looked
That's
at
the
humans
same
playing games.
process
It
that
watched games and then
people
learned
used to
from
learn,
them.
though.
It learned strategies and applied them in new ways that we didn't think of.
Sure.
That's
but
learning.
it's still
It didn't. You can't crunch.
it didn't
the
make a
combinations
decision.
With Go.
It didn't make a decision really.
Go is
That's-
fractal. It's
That's
not.
literally what it
Decision,
does.
but decision is coded. It's programmed.
It's
didn't- you can't-
That's how machine learning works, though. Is the actual program, the inputs into it are changing.
Sure, I agree. But it's not like actually looking at two options and making a decision based on. It's making a decision based on like what you've told it to make the decision based on.
It's
No,
made the
that's
decision
what was
based
so
on
novel is
what
we,
it's
the
trained
input
itself
we
to make
gave
the
it
decision
was
based on.
other games, and it
And
learned
that's
on its own.
That's the exact same way people learn things too. Is by doing stuff and learning from what happened. You know.
I don't agree.
okay.
You're wrong.
What I'm saying is that
Prerogative.
what I'm saying is that there's a lot more to intelligence than just making decisions.
Okay, just Google. Has any AI passed the Turing test?
Okay.
How relevant. We were talking about Watson.
No.
God damn it!
Didn't let me get to the end of the song.
Sorry.
I thought they did.
They have not.
Okay, I was wrong.
And even it says even if it does pass a test, that does not mean it has true intelligence.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I heard was that they did pass it, but we don't think that's intelligence. And I was like, what the fuck is the point of the Turing
Yeah,
test?
no, I didn't- I
thought
didn't
That
say
was
it.
the thing, man.
I did not assert that anything has passed the Turing test.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Jeff.
next week on
No, right now, and I was wrong.
Hey, I'm still.
That's what I'm saying. What
I
I'm,
you're
still
not-
haven't- I
you're
still
not-
haven't had to do one. I haven't had to do one.
what I'm saying is that machine learning is very advanced and very cool new technology, but
Yeah.
it's still not true like intelligence or artificial intelligence.
Defining true artificial intelligence is like based on the Turing test. It seems very arbitrary.
Well,
But, yeah, I
I'm
think
sure there's
I think
some.
you're right,
I'm sure there's
Cole. I think
some
you're right.
definition.
Yeah,
to
we're
it.
not there yet.
And who knows if it is even achievable at all.
It's the new. It's
We
the new
literally
nuclear
have
race.
achieved artificial intelligence by the definition of artificial intelligence. That's what I'm saying. I will stake that.
It says here that we have not achieved artificial intelligence.
Next week.
Where is here?
Have we passed the Turing test? What is a Turing test? It's a simple way to test if the computer contains
where-
artificial intelligence.
Didn't we
in it.
also
Where
say
is
that's
here?
not a test of it, AI?
It says some people argue that it might not be the best test of AI,
Okay.
but it is a test of AI.
Capabilities currently classified as AI include successfully understanding human speech, competing at high level in a strategic game such as chess and Go, self-driving
Okay,
cars.
so it's just a definition of
intelligent-
AI.
And we've literally achieved that.
If that's
Maybe we've
if that's
achieved
your
parts of it.
if that's your definition
It's
of
not
AI, then
my
yes, we have.
definition of AI. It's
Okay.
the Wikipedia article
right, but it's-
definition of artificial
The
intelligence.
main
Okay.
point is that
So
no
I'm
computer.
not like I don't.
Artificial intelligence.
What is what are you reading? That's like
I think-
we don't have.
I think you
artificial
understand like
intelligence.
semantics
know what we're
aside.
saying.
Yeah, that
Like,
no,
there's no program out there that's like it's constantly learning, it's reproducing, it's advancing.
It doesn't
it's
think like a
exponentially
human.
growing.
It's not to the point where it's like what I described.
It's not infinite
That
intelligence
is a
yet.
future.
what they're talking about? Like, there's a difference.
But it's also not as much of a stretch as you think it is.
Right.
I don't think. Well, I don't know how much of a stretch.
No
you think
one
it
knows.
is.
No one knows.
Until they've done it. Yeah.
Yeah, no one knows if it's even possible. Here we go. Okay, what I'm talking about is referred to as strong AI or true AI.
Strong
According,
AI.
according to
or true
Wikipedia,
AI.
your same web. Your
That
same
says
source.
that we have achieved AI, which is what I said.
Not those programs that are fucking posers right now. Bunch of dummies playing chess like that matters.
Driving cars and stuff.
They're saying it's a hypothetical machine that exhibits behavior at least as skillful and flexible as humans do.
Yeah.
Okay. But we've achieved AI.
We have achieved.
A definition of AI.
Okay, maybe what I'll say.
The
Artificial.
definition of AI.
I
We
will
have not
achieve-
achieved strong AI.
Okay,
Those
so
are two different things.
was battle chess in like 1984?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that
Pac-Man
Game Boy?
is fucking AI.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
That's fine.
It's
okay.
AI.
Sure.
You're right.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
So CRISPR.
That's like
I don't know why anyone was arguing.
It's like saying
with me on
bacteria
this.
is life,
Yeah.
right?
Yes,
Like,
it is.
You're
Sure.
not wrong.
You're not wrong.
It is life.
technically
It's just
is.
not necessarily
I'm-
intelligible.
I'm not only not wrong.
Intelligent.
I'm right.
Yes,
You're
but
Absolutely unequivocally right.
you're
on
skipping
this.
over the like intent of what we're saying and just diving down on semantics.
No, I'm not. I was
think
I was having a discussion of what AI is, and somebody jumps in and says AI. We don't even know if it's possible.
what we were talking about in the broader terms of.
No,
I
that's
wasn't
not what
saying-
was said though.
Then
What
fine.
was said was
Strong
we don't
AI.
know if AI is
Okay,
possible.
Jake.
Okay, the
No,
one
I'm just-
sentence. Forget the rest of the hour of
just
this
saying,
conversation.
I've never been
Just focus
wrong.
on the one sentence that we talked about. Even though we were talking about the broader implications of artificial intelligence and learning.
Right, but the statement.
That's okay.
No.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Absolutely.
You're right.
The
The one
statement-
sentence was yes. If
The one sentence was critically important
we take
because
that
the
sentence-
statement
He's
that
doing
we
French hand again.
if we
Why you're
because
holding a cigarette?
this is critically important and you guys are ignoring something that I said, okay, that we've achieved AI. It's not that much of a stretch to say it's going to go further. And you've got someone saying we don't even know if it's possible to achieve AI. Like those statements are not compatible.
Okay.
I'll agree
Those
to
are
that.
incompatible things.
Sure.
It's critically important to the overall point that I was
You
making.
sound like an AI.
So
that's
wait,
not
hold on,
AI.
wait.
you do. Yes.
All right.
Error does not compute. AI has achieved.
So to try to find some middle ground here, I think their point is that what they were interpreting as AI
Was
we have
incorrect.
we haven't achieved what they thought. So
Right.
what you were saying is correct. What they were saying
What we were
was
saying,
correct.
what we were
based on-
saying was
based on
tying
their
into the conversation
definition.
we were having.
which
in
was
the
an
context.
incorrect definition.
Yeah, no one thinks the battle chess floppy disk is going to lead to mass human extinction and lead
Well,
to our irrelevance.
Yes.
Stephen Hawking thinks that. He actually cited
Well,
the
he's
battle
retarded about a lot
battle
of things.
chess floppy
That's what he
disk.
said.
He said that floppy disk
said-
beat me.
Oh, hanging.
Therefore, it is the most intelligent being in the universe.
What he said was the Lion King, the
game.
Lion King, the
game
is
made him-
okay.
That's the hardest game.
I've never met Stephen Hawking, but I know I can shit on that guy in almost any video game.
The Lion King game is why he's in a wheelchair
Why?
because he was
Got
trying
so
to
mad.
beat it and he just,
shook it violently, like when your chips are stuck in a vending machine and it fell on him. Paralyzed him.
His was built into an arcade cabinet.
I bet I could beat the shit out of him in any first-person shooter.
I thought you were just gonna stop there.
well, also
I
that.
bet I could beat the shit out of him.
Well, obviously. Come on.
He'd probably beat you.
Just a little weak punching
He
bag.
would probably beat you in chess.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would probably beat me in chess.
Yeah.
That's video games.
Do you
though.
think he would taste really good? Because
No.
taste really
Be like old
like
veal.
terrible meat. Yeah.
Well,
He'd be like Kobe beef. Maybe he would.
Like, yeah, maybe
He's just
like,
been in a hammock his whole life.
he hasn't fucking had to work any muscles. Does he
Right.
have any? He's got a little bit of muscle.
What is his problem?
What's
Can't remember.
Problem?
Yeah.
What's his disease?
Why is he just rolling around?
I like when
That's how we're gonna end this episode.
I like when I brought him up.
Stephen Hawking. What's your
No, sorry,
problem?
what is his ailment? So,
I remember
whatever.
bringing him
I
up.
know
Oh.
words really matter to this group. Which ailment?
Jake.
is he
Ailments are
afflicted with?
problems. Ailments are problems.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Which
but our
one does he
problems end
have?
I'm not one of those. I don't
forget. I don't want to say the wrong one.
Is it MS?
I think I know what it is. I
I
don't
was
want to say
thinking
the
it was
wrong one.
that.
I don't jump into
Muscular
like
dystrophy?
handy capable. You know, I'm not one of those people that's like his ailment is his strength. No,
Yeah.
his ailment's a fucking problem. We should be
ALS.
fixing that.
ALS.
ALS. Okay.
Lou Gehrig's?
No,
Isn't that?
amyotrophic lateral
I think it's the
sclerosis.
same
Which is
disease.
Lou
Yeah,
Gehrig's
I think Lou
disease.
Gehrig's
it?
disease is
Could
it.
be.
I think so.
Didn't people pour ice on themselves
Yeah,
to
that was
fix that?
ice
Isn't
bucket
it?
challenge.
Isn't
What's
it?
he
Yeah.
doing?
How's it not fixed?
Right. We poured ice on people.
So it's kind
What's
of
he
a
doing?
it's kind of a weird coincidence that Lou Gehrig got Lou Gehrig's disease, isn't it?
Right? Weird. Bad luck.
Who knew?
Oh, he's a baseball player. I didn't know that.
You didn't know Lou Gehrig was a baseball player?
I don't know anything about baseball. I'm the first to admit that.
Yeah, baseball
I know
sucks,
less. I
all
know
right.
less about baseball than I do AI, and that's saying something.
Yeah, because you
Yeah.
just ask Jake. You know nothing about
Nothing
AI.
about it.
I know very little about it too, to be fair. So
Yeah, so I didn't know he played
Apparently,
baseball.
battle chess is like it's just in line behind Thomas Midgley Jr. as far as being the most dangerous biological organism ever.
Battle chess specifically.
Its potential just hasn't been realized yet, but it's warming
I don't
up.
even know what battle chess
Wait a
is.
second.
It was chess on like the Mac 2SI. It was like 1986
it was
or
just
something.
chess.
It was like when
Yeah, okay.
we barely had computers. It
Just
was
putting
chess.
battle made it more exciting.
No, it was cool chess because when you took a piece, they had animations where like the rook
so they,
would
like,
like
kill it?
fucking eat you. Yeah, it was
Sounds
cool.
awesome.
That's like the Star Wars chess, like in the
Exactly.
movie where the little
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that came
Avatars
first.
were-
Yeah, the Star
yeah.
Wars came first.
So it was based on Star Wars.
wow.
You could say that.
they were maybe both based on a similar idea, right?
Yeah, maybe Joseph Campbell had battle chess.
Hey, do you guys know Babe Ruth the candy?
Shut up.
I'm just finding out that Babe Ruth was a... Says here,
Have you guys heard about this
Baseball
guy
player.
named Jackie Robinson? All I know is that's what my dad always used to call his shits, and Nah,
So-
I'm kidding. My dad's not
So
a
CRISPR.
hardcore anti-Jackie.
I wonder if we
Robinson.
could, with CRISPR, make
advocate.
it so we never needed to poop again. I'd be all for that.
how would they...
How would
just
you
like your
dispose
body's
of waste?
perfectly
Yeah.
efficient.
You just
in
sweat
other
it
ways.
out. You
Yeah.
just smell like an
It's just
Indian
what a
person. You're just
tremendous waste
sweating
of
out
time.
like
Hey, if
Right?
I can have wings coming out of my shoulder blades, I think
Can't.
Jeff can't poop.
I agree.
I'm a,
What would you rather have?
wings. Easy. Yeah, because that'd be half the fun if you had wings. Pooping on people.
All the birds are into it. Birds love it.
Yeah.
Maybe they're onto something.
Can you imagine coming out to your car and there's just
Just a bunch of Jackie Robinsons.
like some undigested corn in it?
on.
Yeah, a bunch of Jackie
Why,
Robinson.
I don't get. Why are people calling?
Because he's black.
He's black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just the implication.
I didn't get
was
that. Oh, but a lot of.
It's a racist joke.
It's an insanely racist household.
Okay, I didn't
But
get
that's
that.
not really what happened.
Did you have a racist household?
No, I was making a joke.
Oh, okay. I don't know if the
Cleanly.
people out there knew that. Like, both of our listeners might need to be told that.
Yeah. All
That's
two
a
of them.
joke.
Can you say it in Spanish?
Jackie Robinson.
It's just Yaki Robinson, right?
Hacky Robinson. That's where hacky sack came from.
Oh, it is H. Yeah. Y is two L's. That's right.
All right.
Hacky Robinson.
Well, it looks like this conversation on CRISPR got a little crispy.
It did get
Shut
a little-
up.
I've been wanting to say that the whole episode.
I'm glad you said it.
After the Babe Ruth joke, how dare you?
I figured I'm on a roll. I got to keep going.
Nope. Not a roll.
And let's wrap it up. Any final words from
Do we
anyone?
want to wrap it
Wait,
up?
no, we never went around. Like, Jeff, what would
Oh
you
yeah,
genetically
we
modify?
talked about it.
We stopped here.
I just said I want to be less shitty.
Less teeth.
That's what he said.
Yeah, Jeff is pretty much robot at this point.
Yeah, I've
you
got
have?
half of my.
He's more
He's got
machine
steel,
than man.
he's got
I've got
magnets.
titanium on my wrist. I got magnets around my esophagus. I have a dental implant. I'm gonna get another
So
one.
you are AI.
I'm like half AI.
After
oh, I had LASIK.
you are mostly artificial and you are intelligent, so that
Nailed it.
maybe it counts.
I have steel balls.
But he's AI with a hyphen.
Yeah.
I'm
All right, and Jeff, you said you don't want to poop. That's all you get.
I don't. I would be.
Nope, that's all you get.
I would
How
be
do you-
3 inches shorter.
Okay.
Because 6'5" is just too much.
No
Yeah.
pooping.
Just ask my wife.
You could take the 3 inches off the top and add them to the dick.
No more.
That's-
No
Well,
more.
that's what he was referring to.
No more. And then
Oh.
I would just crank up my hair follicles so I'd have an endlessly renewable resource, and I would open a textile mill and just make millions of dollars.
That is a
and
creative-
That's got to be annoying.
retire
though,
early.
man.
Yeah.
Now one thing
That's a
I
curse. That's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. No
so
thanks.
here's what I'm imagining. If you don't have to shit anymore,
Yeah.
I'm
all goes
I'm
into the
assuming
hair.
Sweat is the only place where you're disposing of waste.
No,
No, hair.
I would be metabolically optimal. I don't know.
Oh,
It's
no.
I would just use it
Perfectly
all.
efficient.
It's
Yeah.
released as
Wait,
heat.
no hair.
So what you
No,
need is
listen, that is hair.
My-
You just have horrible smelling hair.
Yeah, poop hair.
all your waste product.
my digestion would
So I
be
was gonna say sweat. It's just sweat getting in the hair. You know,
Jake.
Gross.
My digestion would be the Native American.
It uses every part of the food.
That's right. That's right.
Even the undigestible parts that just gets made into hair.
That's
No,
right.
that's made in the Jello.
Made into Jello.
And his hair is used at a textile mill.
Maybe you could get to where actually that wouldn't be an improvement at all. I was gonna say where you can just throw up an owl pellet once in a while with all the.
Oh
all the
yeah,
shit
I
you
wanted
couldn't-
to bring.
Oh, yeah.
I was
The
listening
full
back.
skeleton.
Yeah.
Which one we were talking about? Owls, and you said they eat their own shit, but that's pellets. They
Yes.
don't poop the pellets.
They throw
No,
them
the
up.
pellets are thrown
Hairball.
up.
It's a
Yeah.
hairball.
The pellets
Yeah.
are thrown up, but they eat their poop. They're two different
It's
things.
like literally
Gotcha.
a hairball. It's all the hair
Yeah.
and bone from what they eat.
Right.
Yeah, we dissected one in
Yeah,
high
yeah.
school.
You can get a
I just
whole
couldn't remember
animal.
where
You
it
can get a
came
whole
out.
rat like from
Yeah.
one pellet.
If you got a
I had
whole
a
rat
gopher.
in your pellet, it was really exciting.
oh,
Because
yeah.
I think usually you just got like some of the bones. Yeah,
Yeah,
it didn't always
yeah.
come up in one go.
Yeah.
right.
I had a full two-headed gopher. Yeah, it was like the first hydra rodent ever
Two-headed
discovered.
Wow.
Yep.
You discovered the first two-headed rodent.
I did.
and that's how you discovered it was in an owl pellet.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where else would you find one?
Maybe like
In the wild.
That's the
wherever-
prized prey.
Somewhere
wherever
else.
the
You mean
rodent in
nature?
question lives.
You know, have you seen Alien versus Predator? You know, predators are always out to like go find the very best prey.
Yes.
You know, find that.
Owls are like
Two
that.
owls. They find the
Double-headed
hydra gopher.
gopher.
Yeah, they seek that above all.
Did you try cutting its head off?
Are you
and
sure
then-
it's a hydra that
did it
one
grow
head
back?
got cut off and then two grew in the place?
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't. Okay.
No, it was
So you have to swallow them whole. That's the only way to end the cycle.
Yeah.
Or to Heracles it and torch the stumps.
All right.
That's what he did.
I'm calling it. This could. This.
Wait, which one was Heracles?
He was Hercules in Greek mythology. Hercules was the Roman
Hercules and
name.
Hercules.
Is that true?
Yeah, I believe they're the
Yes.
same person.
Hercules
So
is the
in
Roman?
Greek, so like the movie.
Oh, I'm thinking Pericles, the guy who faced the Gorgon and rode the Pegasus.
Yeah, that guy was
Pericles.
sweet.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
I think so.
Sounds right.
I think
Next time.
We're done. We're done.
Cole's just looking at me like,
Oh
please
my-
wrap
come
this
on,
up.
dude.
Are we really going to open
Are we
another
gonna
door?
discuss Pericles right now?
I don't know if it was
All right.
Hercules.
Pericles is great.
As the host, I'm ending the episode.
No, Theseus was.
This was episode
And we're out.
Goodbye.
You ever heard of the ship of Theseus?
Yes, the debate about like how many when you
Enjoy your burrito, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, if you replace
Theseus was the one who cut off Medusa's head.
This is the Marmalade Podcast.